your environment is actually controlling your thoughts and feelings. So if you said to me, well, I'm angry today because of this person, I'm upset because of this problem, then what you're really saying, just from an objective standpoint, that person or that problem is actually controlling how I think and feel. Which means if I'm reacting to the conditions in my environment, then for the most part I'm a victim to my environment. But turning the battleship around, turning that model around, because how you think and how you feel should begin to produce an effect in your life if you were able to change it. So then people have to lay down the very thing that they've been using their entire life in the same way to get what they want for something greater to happen. So the first day is about overcoming ourselves. It's taking your attention off your environment, forgetting about your body and the emotions and pain and disease and whatever else, and get beyond that program of a predictable future and a familiar past, and get beyond the concept of linear time and fall into the present moment. And that formula then has a biological effect in the brain and body that we can actually anticipate, expect, predict when we see a person starting to overcome themselves. And after looking at enough brain scans, I saw then that people were able to get beyond themselves to move into that creative state. So
is that where creativity happens, when you separate yourself from yourself?
Well, think about it. Have you ever sat at your computer writing an article or reviewing something or studying, and you look up and it's 2.5 hours later and you have no idea where time went? You lost track of the space you were in and the predictable time of the next moment. And when you lose track of space and time, if where you place your attention is where you place your energy, and you have no attention in this three-dimensional reality, then all of your attention is in a realm of thought, and we would call that the quantum. So now, you can't enter the quantum field as a somebody. You have to enter as a nobody. So when you begin to get beyond yourself, what is your environment made of? People, objects, things, places, well, your body in space and time. So when you take your attention off all of those elements, you're disinvesting your attention and energy out of this three-dimensional reality, and you're placing your attention and energy in that field of possibilities.
Have you ever wondered why so many bad things happen to you? Or maybe why your life is so blessed when so many people suffer? The answer lies in you. Maybe you notice so far that everything we perceive here is mental. You can enjoy life only mentally. You can experience magical moments, happiness, and blessings only mentally. Almost all suffering we experience is mental. Without thinking about it, we can experience neither joy nor suffering. So why don't we use our mental power to create what we want? If you are ready to create and experience joy, happiness, and success on purpose, deliberately, then this video is for you. And before we start, feel invited to join our community by subscribing to our channel. It's pretty cool how our brains can work together smoothly, helping us picture what we want for our future without much effort. This mental picture is like a blank canvas where we can practice being the person we want to become, feeling all the emotions that come with it. What's really interesting is that when we feel thankful even before we start healing, or when we feel like we have plenty and deserve good things even before we're actually rich, it starts a big change inside us. It's like just feeling those emotions beforehand starts making good things happen. Loving yourself and being excited about life helps make good things come your way. It's like a magic rule of the universe. When you're open to life's surprises and wonders, you might even have some really amazing experiences. Feeling strong and capable pushes you toward success. Lots of people get stuck waiting for things outside them to change before they can feel happy inside. That's because we're taught to think that way, which makes us feel like we're missing out and alone all the time. But the trick is to feel those good feelings before anything even happens. That's what actually starts making things happen. When your heart and brain work together smoothly, they create this invisible energy field around you, kind of like your own personal Wi-Fi signal. When your brain is in sync with your heart, it sends out vibes based on how you're feeling. It's like your heart is sending out a message about what you want, whether it's about being rich or being healthy, and your brain helps broadcast it out to the world. Our feelings are like the outcome of everything we go through. Epigenetics tells us that our surroundings talk to our genes. So, when you purposely feel a certain way in your heart that matches what you want in the future, you're sending a message to your genes before anything actually happens. This idea then affects how you act, helping you become the person you dream of being. Keeping this feeling in your heart going strong is super important. Our studies, which include working with the HeartMath Institute, show that even people new to meditation can change a lot at the smallest level of their bodies after just a week of practice. It seems like their bodies are turning into something new, all because of their strong and steady hearts. But what's this heart coherence all about? Basically, it's when your heart rate and your breath fall into a nice, steady rhythm together. When you're scared or stressed, your heart races, you breathe faster, and your brain gets all worked up. Many of us spend a lot of time worrying about the worst stuff that could happen, which keeps us stressed out and holding our breath. Our research shows that slowing down your breathing can also slow down your brain waves, switching your body from stress mode to chill mode, ready to make things happen. Picture a big drum, but when you're all tense, you can't hit it properly. Learning to relax changes that. Your heart gets happy, and focusing on it sends a clear message to your brain that it's okay to think about new stuff. Each time your heart beats in a steady rhythm, it sends out a message, kind of like when you drop a pebble in water and it makes ripples. The smoother the rhythm, the better it sends out info. Now, let's talk about the second part, being aware of the stuff you don't even realize you're thinking or feeling. In my own spiritual routine, I start each day by asking myself, how can I be the best version of myself today? This lines up with what science says about paying attention to our thoughts, habits, and feelings that we don't notice at first. It's a journey to get to know ourselves better and make choices that can change everything for the better. When we start noticing things about our old selves, it means we're not totally stuck in that old self anymore. We're stepping into this space of pure awareness, watching bits of our past selves fade away. So, what's my trick? It's simple, but it can change everything. I make a point to figure out who I don't want to be anymore. Studies say that by the time we hit 35, almost all of who we are is just habits, attitudes, beliefs, and feelings that we don't even realize we're doing. These habits keep us sort of asleep for most of the day. The real challenge is breaking out of doing the same stuff over and over. Changing for real means letting go of the old stuff and making something new. When I sit down to meditate in the morning, I start by really noticing the parts of me that I don't usually pay attention to. Maybe I'm judging people without even realizing it, or feeling guilty about stuff without a good reason. By shining a light on these hidden thoughts, I can start to understand why I act the way I do. The more I notice these hidden thoughts, the more I can control them during the day. Lots of people wake up wanting to think positive, but they've been stuck in negative thoughts for years. So I take a minute to think about who I don't want to be anymore, and then focus on who I want to be instead. By imagining and practicing being this new person in my head, I'm making new pathways in my brain. It's like training my brain to act how I want it to. And if I can feel the emotions that come with being this new me, I'm giving my body a sneak peek of what's to come. Research shows that imagining something in your mind not only changes your brain, but also affects your body. It's when your thoughts and feelings come together that define how you feel, and the universe reacts to this vibe. So, my goal is to finish my meditation feeling different in both mind and body. But it doesn't stop there. I have to keep this new feeling going all day, no matter what's happening around me or how I usually feel. When I can keep this up for a while, amazing things start happening in my life, usually when I least expect it. It's like a rule of how things work in the world, and it's what keeps me sticking to my daily routine. For me, I start my day by asking myself, what's the best version of me? I don't stop meditating until I really feel like that person. Sometimes it happens fast, and other times it takes longer. It's not about how long it takes, it's about being really there and feeling different. Some days, my mind is all over the place, thinking about what I need to do later or what's happened before. It can take me a while to bring my thoughts back to right now, but that's the real work, my friends. I've learned that if I keep at it and bring my mind back to the present, no matter where it's wandered off to, it's always worth it. Those moments when I really focus and bring myself back from being distracted are the best. So, I set aside a couple of hours in the morning, not because it always takes that long, but because it gives me time to relax and not worry about the time ticking by. It's my way of making sure I have enough time to connect with myself. Now, let's talk about the third part, being intentional. People sometimes struggle with what it means to be intentional. Let me make it simple. Being intentional means being super clear about what you want. Sounds easy, right? But here's the thing. When we're stressed, we start thinking about all the conditions and rules for what we want. We think, I want this, but only if that happens, and I can't risk this other thing. That's not being intentional. It's trying to control everything. Being intentional is pretty simple, really. It's just about saying, I want this thing, without worrying about keeping everything else the same. When you ask yourself questions like, what would it be like if I had this? Or, what if I were in this situation? It gets your brain's thinking part going. This part of your brain takes a look at everything you know and have experienced and puts it together to make a new idea. Intention might show up as a picture in your head, a symbol, or just a really clear idea. Like, you might imagine a peaceful place to go and relax. This picture has all the details of what you want. As you imagine it, it's like you're living your dream right there in your mind. Surprisingly, your brain can't tell the difference between this pretend experience and real life. It's like you're getting ready for the future without even knowing it. But we're not done yet. Once you've decided what you want, the real magic happens when you add some emotion to it. Why? Because your body listens to how you feel about your thoughts. So, when you feel strong emotions about your intention, your body thinks you're already living that future right now. Your cells, in a way, get ready for what you're imagining. It's like you're changing the story your body's been telling itself, moving from what's happened before to what's going to happen next. This mix of intention and emotion sets the stage for big changes, both inside you and in the world around you. As we go through this journey of discovering ourselves and getting better on purpose, let's remember that we have the power to make our lives what we want them to be. We can change our stories, reprogram our minds, and live the way we really want to. So, let's enjoy this process of change, seeing how we transform when we take charge of our own future. The power to change is in each of us, just waiting to be used. And as we start changing, we can inspire others to do the same, making the world a better place for everyone. Your expectations are closely linked to what you believe is possible. If you take a close look at your life, you'll see that everything that happens to you fits within the realm of what you believe is realistic. If you want to change your expectations, you first need to change your beliefs about what's possible for you. When your expectations shift, your reality follows suit, and your life takes a different path. I like to think of life as presenting us with amazing opportunities that are cleverly disguised as impossible situations. There's always a way forward. We just need to find it. Throughout life, we often face challenges that seem overwhelming or even hopeless. But these challenges can actually be blessings in disguise. They push us out of our comfort zones, urging us to confront our limitations and make changes. Before we continue, I invite you to join our community and subscribe to our channel. From a scientific perspective, our brains have a remarkable ability to adapt and change, known as neuroplasticity. When we encounter difficulties or disruptions, our brain's adaptability is triggered. These impossible situations become catalysts for personal growth and development. The idea of a door symbolizes the potential for transformation within these challenging circumstances. In neuroscience, we understand that our brains form neural pathways based on our experiences and habits. When we encounter obstacles or impossibilities, it's like stumbling upon a closed door in our neural networks. But just like in life, there's always a way to open that door and discover new possibilities. Our brains are incredible. They can adapt and change. When we face challenges and find solutions, it's like we open a new pathway in our brains. This helps us form new habits, ways of thinking, and actions. What we believe is super important because it shapes how we see and experience the world. This isn't just some idea. It's backed up by science and what we notice in our own lives. Our brains are really flexible. This means they can change based on what we think, what we go through, and what we believe. When we stick to certain beliefs, our brains get wired to see the world in a way that matches those beliefs. This is called confirmation bias. It's like wearing glasses that only let you see what you already believe. Our beliefs are like filters. They decide what we pay attention to, how we see events, and even what we feel. For example, if we think we're capable and deserve success, we'll spot opportunities and go for them with confidence. But if we believe we're not good enough, we might miss chances and hold ourselves back. What we believe affects how we act. If we believe something can happen, we're more likely to work towards it. But if we think it's impossible, we might not even try, making sure it stays out of reach. This is called a self-fulfilling prophecy. It shows how our beliefs actively shape what happens in our lives. Quantum physics gives us a fresh look at how our beliefs shape what we see as real. Imagine this. When we observe tiny particles like electrons, they can change their behavior. Similarly, what we believe and expect can affect what happens in our lives every day. If we expect something to happen, our beliefs can guide our actions and choices, making that expectation come true. In the quantum world, particles act like both waves and particles. They're like a bunch of possibilities until someone checks them out. Before we observe them, they're in this fuzzy state, not set in stone. But when we look at them, they snap into a specific state. This means our consciousness, the act of looking, has a big say in what happens. So, what does this mean for us? It suggests that our beliefs, thoughts, and expectations have power. When we're aware of what we believe and think, we can shape what we experience. It's like we're observers of our own lives. By focusing our thoughts and feelings on what we want, we can influence our choices and actions. This makes it more likely that what we want will happen. This idea also ties into the idea of self-fulfilling prophecies. If we believe something will happen, our beliefs and actions will steer us towards that outcome, even if we're not aware of it. It shows how our thoughts and expectations can actively create the world we live in. Our expectations have a big impact on how we see the world. They affect what we think, how we feel, and what happens to us. Think of your brain like a fortune teller. It's always guessing what will happen next based on what's happened before. When we expect something, our brain looks for a proof that it's true, which shapes how we see things. Expectations act like filters for our attention. If we're expecting something good or bad to happen, we notice things that match our expectations and ignore stuff that doesn't. This can make us remember things that confirm what we thought and forget the rest. Our expectations also affect how we feel. If we're thinking positively, we'll feel good, but negative thoughts can make us stressed and anxious. Understanding how expectations work is tied to how our brains can change. Our brains aren't set in stone. They can adapt based on what we experience and believe. So, if we want to change our reality, we can start by changing what we expect. This means we can reshape how our brains work, which in turn changes how we see the world. Our sense of who we are isn't fixed. It's always changing. Over time, we pick up beliefs, habits, and ways of acting that make up our identity. But if we want to be someone different or achieve new things, we have to make a conscious effort. This means imagining ourselves in a new way and letting go of old habits and beliefs that hold us back. It's like shedding our old skin to become something new. Our old selves are like broken records, stuck in the same old thoughts, feelings, and actions. To become who we really want to be, we've got to break free from those habits and replace them with new ones that lift us up. Luckily, our brains are like flexible muscles. They can change and grow no matter our age. So, by changing how we think, feel, and act, we can literally rewire our brains to match our dreams. Becoming the person we dream of being isn't easy. It means leaving behind what's familiar and stepping into the unknown. It's like stepping out of a cozy bed into the cold morning. It's uncomfortable, but it's where the magic happens. True growth only comes when we're willing to leave our comfort zones behind. Your attention is a precious thing, like a spotlight you can shine on different parts of your life. Whatever you focus on gets your energy. The present moment is where all the action is. When you're fully here, you're ready to make things happen. It's like being in the driver's seat of your life, instead of just going along for the ride. Being present isn't just sitting back and watching, it's jumping right into the action. It's like being in a river, flowing with the current instead of fighting against it. When your mind is all over the place, worrying about the past or the future, it's like wasting energy on things that don't matter. But when you're here and now, you're focused and ready to make things happen. When you focus on the here and now, you tap into the universe's creative power. This sharp focus can really shake things up in your life. You become like a partner with the universe, using your energy to make your dreams real. Picture this. You close your eyes and imagine your dream life in vivid detail. You see yourself living it, feeling every moment. This isn't just daydreaming. It's a powerful tool called visualization. By doing this over and over, you're training your brain to accept this new reality as your own. And the more real it feels, the more likely it is to happen. Visualizing isn't just about seeing, it's about feeling. When you imagine your dream life, really feel the joy, excitement, and fulfillment that come with it. These strong emotions fuel your belief that it's possible. Your brain can't tell the difference between what's real and what's imagined. So, when you visualize, you're actually rewiring your brain to match your dreams. It's like training for the Olympics, but for your mind. Now, let's talk about expectations. When you aim high, you challenge the limits you've set for yourself. It's like breaking free from chains that held you back. Big expectations push you to take bold steps and keep pushing, even when things get tough. To change your life, you've got to step out of your comfort zone. Big expectations nudge you to do just that. They push you to grow and adapt, like a seed breaking through the soil to become a mighty tree. And guess what? The bigger your expectations, the more you'll notice opportunities that match your dreams. It's like setting a magnet for good things to come your way. And through it all, gratitude keeps you grounded and helps you appreciate every step of the journey. When you practice gratitude, you're like a gardener pulling out weeds of negativity and planting seeds of positivity in your mind. Instead of focusing on what's missing or not right in your life, you turn your attention to the good stuff. This simple shift in perspective can make a big difference in how you feel and see the world. Gratitude isn't just about saying thanks now and then. It's about having an attitude of abundance, a mindset that says, I appreciate what I have, and I'm open to more good things coming my way. By feeling thankful for what you've got, You're sending out a signal to the universe that you're ready for more blessings. When you're grateful, you feel good inside. It's like a warm hug for your soul. And these positive feelings create the perfect environment for making your dreams come true. It's like tuning your radio to the frequency of success. Think of visualization, setting bigger expectations, and gratitude as your dream team for changing your life. Visualization helps you paint a picture of your dream life in your mind. Setting bigger expectations pushes you to aim higher and take action. And gratitude? Well, it's like the sunshine that makes everything grow. When you use these tools together, you're on the fast track to becoming the person you want to be and living the life you've always dreamed of. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on all our latest content. And if you think others could benefit from this video, be sure to share it with your friends and family. Also, don't miss out on more valuable content. Check out our other similar videos located to your left and right. They're packed with tips, insights, and inspiration to help you on your journey. So go ahead, explore, and let's continue growing together.